Welcome back, excuse me, to CryptosRUs. I'm George. We're all George. So, I am back. Oops, wrong view. You guys are used to this. It's okay. I'm already here. So, it's the last day of 2022. So, let's recap what happened this year. Bitcoin has done something it's never done, right? And what to expect in 2023. So let's get started. So welcome. As you guys know, I was traveling all last week, right? So I didn't have any live streams, but you know what? I know most of you guys were traveling anyways with your families, taking vacation, whatever. You probably didn't have time, but I put out a few little good pieces of video for you guys. All right, so let's get started. You can see Bitcoin right now is 16.6, right? So it really has not moved. Volatility has dropped to very low levels, right? Very little movement at this point, okay? But to recap 2022, stocks end with a thud. Yesterday, obviously, was the last trading day of 2022. It didn't end so well. It ended in red. It's been red for a long time, right? And NASDAQ also did something it has never done before, and that is, well, it had 4 consecutive quarters in the red. Never, ever has it done something like that within the same year. It has made 4 consecutive down quarters, but not in the same year, usually crossing into a new year. So that is what's special about what happened in 2022, right? Not to say that's a good thing, but it is something that happened, and some are looking at this, right? It's like, does this mean that we have finally found that bottom, right? The chances of having 5 consecutive quarters is, well, we don't have any data. It has never happened, right? So what are the chances of that? Well, a lot of people are looking at this and, of course, looking at other things that's been going on within the year and in 2022, right? Still speculating what's going on, but we got a lot of stuff. 2022 was just an absolutely awful year and weird year, right? We had midterm elections, which generally speaking should be pumping up markets, did absolutely nothing, right? We're going through a recession where wages and jobless claims and unemployment, right, in the opposite direction. Unemployment low, 50-year low, wages high. While we're going through recession, that also doesn't make a whole lot of sense, right? I mean, this last year has been absolutely bonkers, and we're finally getting ready to move past it. Also, if you look at this, 2022 for bonds and stocks, the worst recorded year ever since 1871. So we're going back how many years? Almost 200 years, right? We have never seen stocks and bonds fall this much within a year, going all the way back to 1871. That's how bad it's been, right? It's been really bad. Goldman Sachs is anticipating that, you know what? Inflation was very high in 2022, right? But as we move into 2023, we're going to actually see inflation turn negative. Negative, right? Now, that may sound positive. Turning into negative inflation seems positive. Deflation, right? Seems like that's a good thing. But you know what? This is what people are afraid of. When you go into deflation, that's actually much worse than inflation, okay? That means people have become so broke, doesn't matter how cheap prices are, they're not buying because they can't afford to buy. And that causes a trickle effect where businesses go under, unemployment starts going up. Of course, price of goods start dropping because no one is buying. So deflation, if you think about it, is actually much worse than inflation. So this is kind of hinting that we're going in that direction, that things are going to get really, really, really bad into the second half of 2023 and leading in 2024, where basically we have no inflation at all, right? So I don't know. This is also looking pretty bad. Of course, there's a lot of doom and gloom, right? And then looking at China right now, as for supply chain, it is getting better, but because China has now gone into they removed their zero COVID policy. COVID is skyrocketing right now, kind of like how it was in 2021 when everyone just stopped caring, right? And, everyone had to build up the immunity, the herd immunity, and that's what China's going through now. They should have done it before, but now they're doing it now. But this comes at the worst time because now you got a whole bunch of people staying at home, getting sick, right? And their manufacturing has dropped tremendously. So this notion that supply chain is getting better, right? It is, but that could quickly turn where it turns negative again because of all the shutdowns and stuff that may happen in China. It may happen. Doesn't mean that it's going to, but it could happen because they did a sudden reversal recently, right? After 3 years of basically doing zero COVID policy, now they're just removing that. So that's also in play, right? So 2022, to sum up, has not been good. Not a good year. But we're finally moving past it, moving into 2023, right? And everyone is trying to guess what's going to happen. Of course, with Bitcoin, how this relates to Bitcoin. Bitcoin also, just like the Nasdaq, did not do well. We're closing at a negative 60% year-to-date loss. Okay, that's for Bitcoin. Some of the others been much worse, much worse. So this is what Bitcoin has not done ever before. 4 consecutive quarters. 4 consecutive quarters in the same year. But if you look at it, if you look at Bitcoin going all the way back, it never had 4 consecutive quarters. Oh, no, I did. I'm sorry. From 2018 to 2019, it did have 4 consecutive quarters. No, I'm wrong about that because it's cut off, right? No, it never had 4 consecutive quarters ever in its history. Not even, forget just in the same year, but never ever did Bitcoin have 4 consecutive quarters of red. And we had it in the same year. So Bitcoin was absolutely decimated in 2022, right? Along with everything else I just said. It's just been a bad year. So you can't even say it's just crypto winter. It's winter for everything. Everything. Okay? But here's the thing. Despite Armageddon, supposedly, right? 2022, despite everything, financial meltdown, financial crash, we have a war, supply chain, all this stuff that's happened, Bitcoin is still at where it's at, which is 60,600. And why is that a good thing? Well, you just compare it to the previous low. You just have to zoom out a little bit and realize, despite all that has happened, right? Our low from 2 years ago was at $3,000. So even with the worst recorded year, worst recorded 4 consecutive quarters ever for Bitcoin, ever in its history, it's still sitting like 5x higher than its previous low from 2018. And even you could argue 2020 because it fell down to 4,000 at that point, right? So despite everything that has happened, Bitcoin is still much higher. And this is because the holders and the fundamentals continue to grow stronger. People are accumulating. People are desaying. The addresses are going higher. The number of holders are higher. Addresses and hash rate and everything else that's measurable about the network, the Lightning Network, the liquidity on Lightning Network, everything, volume, all skyrocketing, right? Because people believe. People believe that better days will come for Bitcoin. And we are getting closer and closer to the next halving event, which we know has a great effect on Bitcoin, right? So this is the reason why I'm hopeful for 2023. Despite you got a lot of negative bears out there, a lot of negative bears. Okay, we got David Marcus. I mean, not that he's a big crypto guy, but he's an ex-Facebooker, and he tried to do a lot of crypto stuff with Facebook. You know, he says crypto winter won't end in 2023, won't end in 2024. Probably be good in 2025 again because of the halving event, right? Some people, you know, thinks that. I think we're going to have, if you look at history, we always had a pretty good recovery leading up to the halving event and then having crazy gains afterwards, right? I don't think anything has changed. In fact, right now, the beginning of the new year is when typically, right, if you look at how much time there is until the next halving event, typically this is the time when Bitcoin starts going up. So I'm looking forward to that. But, you know, you still got guys that are spreading a lot of FUD that don't believe, right? Of course, Peter Schiff, he's doing more and more tweets, not about gold, but about Bitcoin, because this is how he gains his views, his popularity, right? Because he has to talk about Bitcoin because literally no one cares about gold, and gold has not moved in 12 years. It's not something that anyone really buys as an investment. They may buy it if they just, you know, they think physical gold is the way to go. Paper gold is absolutely trash, right? I get it. Some people do like holding on physical bars of gold, right? But Peter Schiff doesn't talk about that. He talks about Bitcoin. How low does Bitcoin have to fall before you admit you're wrong and sell your stack? And amazingly, out of the 64,000 that voted, 62% is I'm holding till zero. They will never sell. This is the reason why Bitcoin continues to form higher lows and higher highs and always recovers, because people believe. They really do. And with everything, that all the shenanigans that happened over the last few years, it made people's convictions stronger. Because all this about distrust in banks and centralized government, when the economy was good, no one really cared. No one paid attention. Bitcoin was created after the last recession in 2008. It was created in 2009, right? But from 2009 all the way up to 2020, 2021, good years, and no one really cared about why Bitcoin was created. But people started noticing the last few years with all the printing, the unlimited printing, with the quantitative easing that's been happening, right? And then now tightening, right? All the stuff that Satoshi saw before and didn't like, and why he created Bitcoin. Well, now people are paying attention to why it's important, right? So even though Bitcoin's price has calmed down, the fundamentals and the people that are holding has gone up. Look at this. Total supply held by long-term holders. Just look at that. That's not just strong accumulation. That's crazy accumulation, right? People are accumulating and holding like no other time before, right? We're seeing massive amount of people coming in because not only is the price low, you want to buy low and sell high, and also because distrust in governments, right? Distrust in everything that has happened the last few years. You can't just say, okay, we're going to forget about it. No, because it's going to happen again. History always repeats. It always does. Greed always takes over. Then you got bad actors, right? And then you have greedy governments. And what does that lead to? It leads to another collapse. It always happens, right? That's why people are turning to hard assets and hedges against inflation and stores value like Bitcoin. So stay strong, my friends. I know 2022 has been absolutely horrible, but it's not just a crypto thing. It was just entire space of financial markets. Everything had a really horrible time in 2022. But 2023 is about to come. Things will get better, right? Maybe not right away. Maybe not the first 6 months of 2023. I do think that the first 6 months of 2023 could be harsh, right? Or maybe not. Maybe we just go sideways for another 6 months. But I do think the second half of 2023 will definitely be better, and we'll see a greater recovery then, right? So there you go. All right, guys. Let's do some Q&A. I haven't done Q&A in a long time. Let's do some Q&A. Hard Magic 1, same to you, and Happy New Year to you as well. And then let's see this. And then Old Saucy, same to you. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to everyone that tuned in today. My videos are not updating. Good thing live chat is working, but my like live stream video is not working. But anyways, all right, scrolling up here. Let's see what I missed. Jack, yes, it's me. Oh, I forgot. I didn't cover some SBF news that's coming up. So I did see this. So SBF reportedly is going to plead not guilty. Okay, so he just doesn't believe that he did anything wrong. So this will come January 3rd. I don't know. Maybe it's reported that he's going to plead not guilty, but maybe he does. I don't know if he's. But he's back on Twitter again, right? He just can't help himself. Some people that, you know, people get addicted to Twitter and they just can't help themselves. Even in the situation he's in, he's tweeting. He's tweeting away because he's in his dad's place and he's tweeting away basically saying he didn't move the funds because recently there's been talks about him moving funds, right? And he denies that. I mean, he should be off Twitter. He should be off Twitter at this point. But just want to give you guys that update as well. All right, let's see what I missed here. Jack asked, do all the tech layoffs increase the talent pool for blockchain Web 3.0 development, or is it a completely different industry? I don't, it's completely different. I mean, people that know one form of coding, it's hard for them to pick up another. It's not impossible, but sure, it can happen. And people are looking for work. They want to do something, you know, with their time. They may want to switch into a different language, a different framework. It could happen, Jack. Tom, happy New Year to you. Alvin, same to you. Hold on here. LWJ, happy New Year to you too from Singapore. You're probably the first already, right? New Year probably hit you already. Teresa, same to you from New Zealand. And I'll keep up the good work and keep people hopeful, keep people engaged with Bitcoin and crypto. Let's see. Do you know anything about Pi Network? I just know that it got added. I saw something about it. I don't know too. I mean, I've looked at it before. I don't see anything special about it. It's different than the Pi devices, right? But I saw it was added to Huobi or something, and then because Huobi is now owned by Justin Tron, and Justin Tron may be trying to pump it or something, Pi Network said they had nothing to do with it. I don't know. There's something going on there. I have not been paying attention to it. Do you know Cody? Yeah, I do. Well, their stablecoin is DGED for Cardano coming under a lot of heat because it is algorithmic stablecoin, right? So a lot of regulators are banning algorithmic stablecoins, and even though they say it's going to be over collateralized, I don't know if anyone's really going to trust them at this point. We'll see, but they're also in payments. You know, they're not just about stablecoin for Cardano. They're in the payment sector, so there's other things that they could definitely expand upon. In Luna Classic Taboo, should it not be bought? I mean, there's just no future for it, right? Despite all the people that try to hype it up after the fact. You know, I said there's just all the developers left, all the dApps left, right? They're burning, didn't do much, still didn't do much. I mean, it's just, there's no point. If you want to trade it, sure, but I just don't see how it has any future. LeBron had a pretty good game. I did see that. Recently, there's been a lot of people with crazy games. Luka had a crazy game, 60-26 game. Jokic had something like that. I mean, recently, people in NBA has been going crazy. Brent says 2023 sideways, 2024 up decently, 2025 to the moon. I mean, I could see that. I would say the first 6 months, everyone's trying to guess what's going to happen in the first 6 months. Some people are feeling that the first 6 months is going to be bad. All the months are going to be bad, really bad, right? But some people think it could be good. You know, a lot of tax harvesting that's been happening. And by the way, today's the last day to take advantage of it. If you're in crypto, it's been a bad year and you're down, right? And you want to offset some capital loss, right? Or you want to take advantage of it, you can. With crypto, wash trading is still legal. So you could sell and buy back immediately. You don't have to wait 30 days like equities. So you could take advantage of tax loss harvesting with crypto. Still, today's the last day. So make sure you talk to your accountant or you utilize someone like Cointracker that can tell you exactly how much you made or lost, right? But a lot of people do think that because of tax harvesting that has happened in December, January could be a better year because people are no longer selling. They're buying back what they sold, right? So a lot of people think that, beginning in 2023 could be good. It doesn't have to be bad, you know. The Fed is slowing down their rate hikes. Inflation is starting to slow down, right? Wages and unemployment. Wages still high, unemployment still low, right? These are all good things. Maybe supply chain gets better, right? These are positive things. So without people selling, without people doing tax loss harvesting, first 6 months could be good, right? Right now it's just anyone's guess. But I do think the first 6 months, me personally, I think probably for crypto, probably go sideways. But then the second half of the year, that's when we're closer into the next halving event. That's when we'll see some good recovery. And then afterwards, we'll see some great recovery. But that's kind of how I'm thinking. But you know what? It's anyone's guess at this point. Michael, SBF will receive a slap on the wrist and no more. He has worked in collusion with Gensler and Democrats to bring down crypto as a threat. You know what, Michael? As much as I believe that, there's no way he's going to get a slap on the wrist. Zero chance. Zero chance. He's either going to disappear or he's going to be sentenced to 100+ years. There's too much scrutiny over this. There's no way that they're going to bail him out. If he is a scapegoat, he will be, no matter what, he's going to be a scapegoat. And he's going to be sentenced to something enormous. Flexa Rally Music. Happy New Year to you. I'm glad. Once you know DCA, once you just kind of trying to take the guessing out of it, trying to stop trying to day trade or swing trade. You just you're playing for the future. You're investing for the future, and you just DCA over long haul, right? Takes a lot of the hassle, the stress away, and I'm glad it's working out for you, man. Can ETH take over BTC next bull run? I mean, it got pretty close. It got pretty close. Like, the market cap was about half of Bitcoin. It's still about half, right? So can ETH actually overtake Bitcoin in market cap? There's definitely a possibility. Once upon a time, I thought that wasn't, but I definitely think there's a possibility. SBF is going to do 6 months of house arrest? No, no chance. He's going away for a long time. Or disappearing. One of the two. Arthur says something. I have a loan that matured on December 16, where I owned them 6K, and I had 9K left in BTC after the slaughter. What can I expect? I don't know what kind of loan you took, but it's already past that, so I don't even know what you're doing. Anyways, don't play with leverage. Don't play with loans. Don't take loans to buy Bitcoin. Don't put down your collateral to buy crypto. It has not worked out for anyone that has done it. I take that back. Some people maybe have taken advantage and have done well, but most do not. Exchanges win. When you play with leverage and you get liquidated, regardless if you win or lose, they make their fees. And people that has put down collateral to borrow against it to buy crypto or stocks, right? They have been forced to sell more because they're getting margin called. Even it happened to Elon. Elon sold all this stock, not for dry powder, because he was margin called on the loan that he took to buy Twitter. You know, it happens to everyone, and you don't want to be forced in that situation. Don't play with money that you don't have. So. Yes, a day or two ago, soccer legend Pele passed away. Yep, that was. I'm not a big soccer guy, but I did see that happen. Nosa, you know what? That's the thing. I didn't cover this story, but it happened last week, and I even said it. When SBF got his $250 million bail thing, the judge that awarded that to him, you know, her husband has dealings with FTX. He's a lawyer of some firm that worked with FTX. So she never should have been a judge at all. So she recused herself. She recused herself, whatever the term is. She took herself off the case because of the connection. But she didn't take herself off before when she gave him bail, right? So how does that make sense? I even called that out when it was announced. I'm like, how could she still be residing over this case, right? So here's my thing. Here's what I'm thinking. SBF is probably connected with a lot of shady people behind the scenes. Whether or not he's a scapegoat, he's just a fall guy, right? Or he's the mastermind, but regardless, he's very well connected. So I'm thinking that they gave him bail on purpose, knowing that those will be his last days to spend with his family. I'm just speculating, but I'm thinking that, you know, they're saying, hey, you know what? You're going to go down for this, and we're going to allow you to have some time with your family, right? And that's why he's still staying with his parents. And then afterwards, that's it. There will be no more. And he will be sentenced to some hard times where he may not ever come out of it. So that's what I'm thinking. So he had ties. They gave him that break, and then that's it. There's no more. That's how I'm thinking it's going to go down. And he's going to be sentenced for a very long time or disappear. When I say disappear, I don't mean on a run. Okay? One of the two is going to happen. Eddie, what are your thoughts on Harmony? I've said this before. I'll say it again. I wish them the best. I think they're going to have a very hard time recovering. Very hard time. They had their biggest DeFi project leave them, and they suffer one of the worst hacks in history. So they're going to have a really hard time recovering from either one. I think it's a front man for a supercomputer. Maybe it's just AI. He's the latest version of AI ran by Elon or someone else. The investor, Happy New Year to you as well. Is Barry Silbert really broke? I don't think he personally is really broke, but recovering from, the $1 billion hole with Genesis, I think that's going to be hard. So he's been keeping quiet. He has disappeared off of Twitter. And you know what? He's probably been trying really hard. Gemini, they got a slap in the face, a black eye because of Genesis connection, right? And everyone's worried about, DCG and how they're going to recover because they're the parent company of Genesis and Grayscale. And Grayscale is rumored to be selling off some of their assets, right? Hopefully nothing happens with DCG. That would be horrible, horrible. Escape the Matrix. Yeah, that also happened. Tate brothers got arrested. I think they're still arrested. I don't think they've been released. I heard they're going to be under arrest for 30 days or something. So it seems like the Matrix had enough with the Tate brothers. I don't know what's going to happen there. FTX was only a gray swan, cannot be considered black swan in the middle of a bear. Yeah, there could be better and bigger black swans, but I don't think they're coming. Not now. It would have happened already, but I don't think they're happening. Oh, they were released. Okay, good. If they're released, that's good. Because there was rumor that they were going to be locked up for 30 days or something like that. Any thoughts on FTM? I think FTM is still a good position. Still large DeFi ecosystem. Andre Crony's back. They're going to have some conferences in January and beginning of the year, so that could help them. So MicroStrategy below 100, screaming buy. I don't know. I just think if you want to buy stocks, if you want to buy crypto-related stocks, it's better to just buy Bitcoin. They have been better. They outperform them. MicroStrategy has been decimated. Same thing, MSTR. And the same thing with Coinbase. Kathy Wood is loading up on Coinbase. MicroStrategy 52-week low. It seems like that's just on for everything. It's definitely been decimated. But same thing with Coinbase. Coinbase is down like 90% since its IPO, right? A lot of things are down. 2022 has just been a bad year. Bad year. But you know what? Things will get better. They always do. They always do. All right, guys. I'm going to let you guys go. So enjoy New Year's, if it hasn't happened for you yet, today's New Year's Eve, right? So enjoy the last day of 2022. We're all looking forward to 2023. So stay strong, my friends, despite how bad it's been. Bitcoin is still strong, getting stronger, and you don't want to give up. All right. So have a good one, guys. I don't know if I'm going to be streaming tomorrow. I may stream tomorrow, even though it's New Year's Day. Maybe. We'll see. We'll play by ear. So have a good one, guys. Take care, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.